Hello, hi, welcome or welcome back. My name is Amber. I am a Brit living in America, and this channel is all about how we got here and exploring America through culture, food, travel experiences. This week, as last week, I'm in upstate New York. I am actually at the summer camp where Josh and I, my husband, first met. He's Scottish, I am English. We just moved to America last year, and this is where it all began for us. So last week's episode, I recreated our first date and told a little bit about our story. And this week is going to be all about the summer camp. So I'm going to be telling you guys about my camp story personally, and also how it could be your camp story. And I'm also going to give you a look around the whole camp facility, the one that we work at. And I'm also going to tell you about the business that Josh and I run, because it's also in the camp industry, so it makes sense to talk about that today. But before any of that, as always at the beginning of all of my videos, I remind you that I am not creating content because I want to be a content creator, quite the contrary actually. I'm doing it to build a personal brand and to monetize so that I can fund a charity that I'm starting to help American homeless people and veterans. It's a cause that has really struck me since moving here. I want to find a way to give back to the country that's taken in my family as immigrants, that we're very, very grateful to live here. So that's something that I'm working on. I talk a lot about it on my TikTok and my Instagram, which is also _Amber in America if you want to follow along. But just by watching this, just by subscribing, helping me to monetize this content is helping me with that mission. So thank you for being here. My story about how I first got to camp and how things have changed for me since then. I've come to one of my favorite spots at camp, which is the lake that you can see behind me. It's probably no surprise to you that this is a favorite spot because it's absolutely stunning. Most camps will be facilitated on a lake or some kind of private open water. There are often a lot of water-based activities, and I'm going to show you all about the facilities at this one when I do the camp tour towards the end of the video. But I need to give you a bit of a prequel because I am very aware that unless you have been to camp, which is a very, very American culture, definitely no other country that I've ever come across. Just me saying summer camp, you're going to be like, hey, what? So summer camp in America is a big culture. It is across all of the states, but it's particularly prevalent on the East Coast. So I'm talking states like New York, Maine, Pennsylvania, that kind of area. So I'm in New York right now, and these kids, these camps, they have kids for pretty much the entirety of their summer holidays from school, their summer break, which again is a lot longer than the summer breaks in the UK. In the UK, I think you get about 6 weeks. Here is more like 8-9 weeks in a lot of states, particularly on the East Coast. So these kids come up here for 7 weeks and they stay here the whole time. There are day camps, there are session camps, but generally the camp culture, most common camp culture is what they call the sleepaway camps. So the kids come up here, they're up here for 7 weeks, and they are, I mean, living their best lives is an understatement. There are so many activities, lots of common activities from camp to camp, but really cool activities nonetheless. And they're in bunks, like wooden cabins, most of which will have hot running water and electricity. Like, they're all fairly modern, and they sleep in there in bunk beds with all of their friends, and they are looked after by what they call camp counselors. So that was the first job that I had when I came to camp for the very first time in 2017. In 2017, I was 21. A lot of people start camp at 18 because it works well with summer holidays from university. So a lot of camp counselors are students, and they come from all over the world. There are Americans that do it, but there are also a lot of internationals that do it, primarily British, Australian, New Zealand, but lots from other countries in Europe too. South Africa gets a really good, seems to have the marketing really good over there for camp counselors. And basically they come over here and they teach either a skill, so they might be a lifeguard, they might teach skateboarding, they might teach horseback riding, a skill, some sort of skill, or they will be what's called a general counsellor. Most camps do have general counsellors, and they kind of take the kids from activity to activity, kind of like a chaperone. And whatever job you come to do, I can almost guarantee it's going to be the best job you've ever had in your life. Hard work, long days, exhausting, But the thing that I love about camp is that you are surrounded by like-minded people, here for the same things, here for the same goals, keen to travel, keen to meet new friends. And it's just a really amazing sense of community that happens almost the second that you get here, even though you know nobody on that first day when you arrive. And that was me back in 2017. I arrived 21 years old. I'd been hired to teach spinning, like the gym bike spinning. And it was a hobby for me, something that I was really into back home at the gym. And I had enough experience to be able to teach it here to the children. And the rest is history, really. I came out, I had my first summer. I absolutely loved it. I had no real idea what I was signing up for. I didn't know anybody who had done it from my small hometown in the country back in England, but I just went for it. Saw an advert probably on Instagram or something, signed up with an agency, went for it, and yeah, never looked back. It was amazing my first summer. I ended up coming back for a second summer because I'd made a best friend my first year, and I was with her, and she wanted to travel Australia, but we wanted to make a few more Australian friends to make that travel easier. So we came back to camp to meet more Australian people, make a little bit of money. And that's actually the summer that I met Josh. And if you've watched any of my earlier videos, you'll know that then the life that I had planned, going to work in Australia for a couple of years and everything, didn't end up that way. I ended up falling in love and living in Scotland for several years, getting married, having a baby, and moving to America. But that's probably a story that I've told it before, or for another day. This one's all about camp. But the camp industry has been prevalent in how we've gotten here. We wouldn't be here without it, because we're both British. So that was an uphill struggle. But yeah, Josh has worked here since 2013. And he now has a more senior job here, and just still loves it every summer, still loves coming back every summer, seeing the kids grow up, getting to know the new counsellors. And now he has a business that sends people to camp. So as I mentioned very briefly there, in order to do this, if you're an international, you do need to go through an agency, because you need visa sponsorship to be able to legally work in America. So he set up an agency because he wanted to help more people to do it, because of the experiences that it's offered us and so many of our friends who are still best friends now. 10 years later for him, they're at our wedding, they spend lots of time with our son, they're a huge part of our life. So he set that up. It's called Workplay USA. He set that up about 3 years ago. This is going into his third season now. So he has a lot of staff here that he's hired, but he also hires for lots of other camps that he has networked with throughout his time in the industry, that he trusts and knows to be excellent camps, places to work where you can have the same experience. So I'm going to try and find Josh to talk a little bit about Workplay USA, because he definitely does it better than I do. He does the majority of the work, the interviewing, the recruiting, and he has the relationships with the camps. So I know that he will speak better to it, but it is actually a week yesterday until the kids arrive here at camp. So we are like deep in the thick of setting up right now. It's a red hot day, and at the moment all of the counsellors are unpacking the bunks, unpacking all of the kids' stuff, so that when they arrive all their stuff is in their closets, their beds are made and everything else. So it's a pretty hectic day. Probably haven't chosen my moment, but I'm going to walk over to where I think Josh will be and see if I can steal him for just a couple of minutes to tell you about Workplay USA a bit more, and then we will head out on the tour of the camp so you can see all of these amazing facilities. Big Daddy, hello?
Hello?
Have you got 5 minutes to talk about Workplay USA?
I want to. Not really, but yeah, okay. I'm busy.
Think I can get 5 minutes without someone asking for your name? Right, let me get your mic. Workplay USA, this is our third season, can you believe it?
3 summers.
Yeah, you've got a lot of staff here and all over the country, well, East Coast mostly.
Yeah.
But I wanted you to say, because you definitely say better than I do, like why you would come to camp, why camp should be a bucket list item for everybody, 18s, 20s.
Well, there's so many reasons. There's a lot of genuine reasons. One is that it's a fun thing to do. I think that's probably the most important thing. It's a genuinely fun way to spend your summer. Most of the people that do come and work at camps are students. Most of them have their summers free. Most of them need summer jobs, and this is probably the most fun summer job you could possibly have. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
the facilities. Oh,
Radio.
radio.
I knew we'd get disturbed.
The facilities at these camps are like unlike anything in the world. Like,
know.
you
I'm
just
gonna do
can't
a
compare.
Tour later.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, some of the facilities that these camps have, we can't compare it to anything in the UK or anything in most other countries. And the job that the camps hire these people to do ultimately comes down to, we want you to have fun
Yeah.
with the kids. We want
pretend like you're a
kids
big kid
to
yourself.
have fun. So you get to teach, maybe you get to teach an activity that you're passionate about. Like, I was a football instructor. My passion was football. I got to coach football in another country. Bucket list item ticked right there. So maybe you teach an activity, or maybe you want to work in childcare and you want to gain experience. But ultimately, the job of being a camp counsellor is fun. So that's first. Like, you come to have a really fun experience rather than working in a local supermarket or a restaurant or whatever for the
something
summer.
different to do for your summer. That means you don't have to go home too. A lot of students end up like going home, living with their parents in the summer, and this is just a way to stay free. You know, keep your freedom.
Yeah.
And something I actually hadn't talked about is the travel. So the visa,
Well, yeah.
the visa that you get, it's a J1 camp counsellor visa,
Yeah.
and you get 30 days after your camp contract ends to be able to travel.
Yeah, so the process of being at camp is that you're going to be working with other people in your same age demographic that are all there for the same reasons. Everybody comes to camp for the same reasons. You want to have a fun job. You want to meet new people, build new friendships. So you're creating relationships with people from Australia, America, all across Europe, obviously the UK. There's lots and lots of different nationalities, and because you work with these other people so much every single day over the course of a short period of time, you build really, really, really close friendships.
Yeah.
And that over the 10 years that I've been at camp, probably the best thing that I've taken from my whole experience, other than meeting you, of course. I've got a wife that I met at camp.
I agree with what you're about to say.
What I'm about to say is the best thing I've taken from this is the relationships that I've now got with people from all over the world that I would never normally get to meet.
Never.
And then that leads into, once your summer experience is done working at camp, on your visa as an international, you have up to 30 days to remain in the country and travel. So that is what most people do. Like, you get paid from the camp. It's not a lot of money, but you get paid. And then with the friends that you've made over the summer, you go out, travel, go to places that you've always wanted to go, see places in America you've always wanted to see. And it's just the best way to possibly
Josh and
end
I
a summer experience.
Yeah, hold on, I'm getting in this shot. Josh and I have road tripped with very little money. We've ate out of tinned cans from Walmart. We've been on cruises. We've been all over with it. Staying in motels, hostels, crazy backpacking, and it's just the best experience, the most fun, and could not have done it without the camp opportunity. So just to finish, Joshua Peacock, plug Workplay USA. How can they get in touch with you if there's anybody watching this that has friends or family or watching it themselves, might be interested?
Well, we have a small agency that recruits people from all over the world to go and work at these camps. I know you said keep it short, but I don't want to.
I've already said that. I'm saying, I've introduced Workplay USA. I'm saying
workplayusa.com. Workplayusa.com. Submit an application.
Yeah, the first step is just submitting an application. And as I said before, it doesn't have to be something you do for work. It can be a hobby. You don't have to be a childcare expert. There's a job for everybody, I feel.
There is.
As long as you're enthusiastic, you're willing to work hard, and you're open-minded.
And it's just the best way to spend your summer.
That's it. So now, Joshua Peacock.
Stop the Joshua.
Sorry, I know his name actually isn't Joshua. And by the way, you know you've made it at camp when you got your name on the golf cart. Oh, look at this. He's very proud of it. And a radio, but that's not as fun.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to ask you, can I have a look in one of your bunks?
You can. It might be a bit of a mess.
Yeah, well.
It's unpacking day.
It's unpacking day, I have already explained, and it is red hot today. So I just want to show you inside, because I feel like that's a question that you get asked quite a lot when you're doing interviews with the counsellors, wannabe counsellors and stuff. It's like, what are the bunks like? So I want to show you what the bunks are like, because they're really nice. They've got everything that you might need.
You're not going to get the best opinion of them right now.
You're not going to get the best opinion of them right now.
There's stuff everywhere.
So Zach Ross was saying his are done.
No.
Okay, he was lying.
They're not.
But I want to show you a little bit inside, and if we happen to bump into any international first-year counsellors that are all a bit flustered and wondering what the heck they're doing here, because it's only been a couple of days, then maybe we'll introduce them too. Let's go have a look.
Hi, my name is Jacqui. I'm from Brisbane, Australia. I'm 25 years old and I'll be a group leader at Silver Lake this year.
I'm very excited to have you back, Jacqui. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. This is Louis. This is actually our cousin who's here for his first year. Go on, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Louis. I'm from Scotland and this is my first year at camp and I'm a general counsellor.
And if you're wondering what this is Louis's ticket to a comfortable bed for his first year here. You're going to be very grateful for that, Louis.
I know.
Thank you. Okay, we're midway through unpacking, so it's an absolute crazy hole in here. But just to give you a bit of an idea of the old bunkers. So we've got bunk beds, we've got nice big closets, loads of space, and these kids are all in the midst of getting unpacked, so they have all of their bedding comes to camp with them. I really should have got some footage yesterday when the bags were getting lifted in, because they are massive, as you can probably tell by the amount of stuff that's in here. And then in the back of every bunk you've got like some shower space, some sinks, toilets, all of the toiletries and everything go in here. Back doors, and I will continue to show you around campus. There's actually nobody in here because they're having a little break at the moment, which is well deserved, because unpacking is a really hard job, but I think it's actually one of the best parts of bonding with your fellow cabin counsellors, because everybody's like, what on earth, these kids have so much stuff, this is crazy, but it all just gets you settled in and gets you working together. Okay. Most of the counsellors are out, as I said, so we only met a couple there, but one from Australia, one from UK, diversity. So now I'm going to show you the rest of the camp facilities, and I have managed to wangle a golf cart. This should only take 10 minutes to get round, whereas it would probably take me an hour on foot because this place is massive. So let's go. I know this is a really boring view, but Josh will be mad if I didn't show you the soccer field. So that's the soccer field, and then down there is also a baseball field, but it is also used for, they call it international sports. So we do teach a little bit of rugby and all that good stuff here too. I feel like an air hostess. To your left, you have tennis courts. There's tennis courts here, there's more tennis courts up there. To your right, you have lacrosse pitches, and then this building here I'm not going to be able to go in because there's training going on, but it's an indoor basketball venue. We call it the hangar. Circus up here, and they are currently training their staff through all of the equipment, including the trapeze. There's also, there's all the circus equipment you can imagine. So fun! I've been up there a lot of times and I'm not very good at it. You can probably just see back there archery, and then in here, I don't know if the door's unlocked, let's see, there is a little gym, which is actually very popular, not just amongst the staff, but the kids too. Let's see if it's open. Yes, we'll just have a quick peek. There we are, the boys are working out. And then next door, on the same theme, there is a ninja course. Let me show you that. We have a volunteer for the ninja wall. You confident you can get up? I'm confident. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's see it. Oh! Go, 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 go. Oh! Oh! Oh, oh, we've got a showboater. My second favourite place on camp after the lake is the horses. Hi. Hi. Is it good to be back? We missed you. Aww. Beautiful. Enjoying the sunshine. I missed out a ton of stuff on the way here because I'm taking too long. Josh needs his golf cart back, but there's like golf, there's basketball courts, there's more tennis courts, there's more soccer courts, but I had to come up here and show you the spin studio because that is where it all started for me. I don't actually know if the door's going to be unlocked, probably not, so I might just have to show you through the window. But in the building that I'm in right now, there's also loads of different arts. There's black and white photography. It's unlocked. No! Let's see if I can get around. There's fine arts painting, there's pottery, ceramics, jewellery making. They have like some silversmithing as well, like rings, stuff like that. There's a big dance studio just here. Yoo-hoo. See if I can get through this way. And then another dance studio, because dance, as you can imagine, is very popular with all the little girls. And this is my mecca. My spin studio, this is where it started for me. And apparently my first year in 2017 was when they like redecorated this with all the glow in the dark paint and stuff. There's like the big mirrors, great sound system in here. We have all the weights and the mats, and it's just like a really cool place to work out. And I used to love spending all day here teaching the kids like routines to their favorite songs and stuff. And it was just so fun. Oh, and the best thing, I won't go in there now because hygiene, but next door to this is a cooking studio. So I used to finish a spin class and then go and get some cookies or brownies or whatever they'd made, and they'd be like, great music. Okay, again, I'm gonna skip out a load of stuff here. The dining hall, there's obviously more than just Josh's bunks that I showed you. There's girls' bunks, different campuses for people that are staying different lengths of time, all that sort of stuff. But I'm gonna skip straight ahead to the lake and all of the water activities because that's a fun one to show you guys. So the kids come down to the lake every single day. So if you're a general counsellor that's doing like the chaperoning job, you will also come down to the lake every single day. And when they come down here, they get to use, I'll spin you around. There's like a little beach volleyball area. Let me zoom in a bit. There's a beach volleyball area. There's also like the inflatables, so they rotate through those. They also have paddle boards, kayaks, pedal boats, and all of these things are available to use during the time that they're at the lake. There are also swimming pools here. This is one of 3 swimming pools here. So they also have a swim period. Sometimes they'll be having swim instruction and sometimes they'll just be having free swim. But on top of that, there are also lots of different activities that they can choose to do on the lake, which includes, but is probably not limited to, as I'm likely to forget, fishing, where you go out to like the other side of the lake and do some fishing, water skiing, tubing. What am I forgetting? Sailing. I must be forgetting other things. Almost forgot as I'm literally driving down the lake. Here is Animal Kingdom. So they're not here yet. They'll be arriving in the next couple of days, but they're gonna have like rabbits, guinea pigs, like snakes, usually like a cow, a goat, a sheep, that are all really well cared for by, again, a camp counsellor who has relevant experience in animal care, and the kids love coming down, and it's run like a little petting zoo type activity, which is really so cute. This is an outdoor theatre area with like a proper professional like sound and lighting booth. There is also an indoor one of these because theatre is another really popular activity here. So if that's something that you do or are interested in, then there's a ton of jobs in like theatre and the arts, costume design, helping the kids to rehearse their lines. They put on like 3 or 4 full length shows every summer. It's crazy, and the kids that are into it are like really into it. So that's really cool. Let me show you the new pool as well, which is right next to here. This is another one of the pools. Obviously these areas are all managed by professionals, but if you're a lifeguard or a really strong swimmer that wants to be trained to be a lifeguard, all of the training and certification is provided to you before you even start camp, before the kids get here. So then you will be a qualified lifeguard in America for 2 years, and that's all covered by the camp. Another super popular activity that I need to show you, I think I've got like one more to show you after this, I'm running around, is the ropes course, the high ropes course. So this is what it says on the tin. There's a zip line that goes all the way around here, and then there's low ropes and high ropes, and on the other side of that there is a climbing wall. So again, if climbing is something that you do as a hobby, then you might be suitable for a ropes course position, because again, all of the training and the professional qualification is provided to you here at camp before the kids arrive, and it's a really popular one. It's a great one, and you get a cracking tan working on the water or the ropes course. Okay, I've had to give up the golf cart, but there is one more place that I need to show you, and trust me, I've literally not even covered half of the activities here. There's like computer studios, photography studios. If you're more like into gaming or coding, there's activities for that. Like when I say there's something for everyone, I haven't even shown you the basketball courts, and I'm in America. There's like 7. But yeah, if whatever you're into, frisbee, there's a frisbee elective. They call it disc golf here. Whatever you're into, there's a job for you. But another really popular one, particularly with my son Rory, is gymnastics. Let me show you this facility. Hey. beams, ropes. Oh my God, it's so hot in here. Oh, you're gonna need to fix that. The fountain is not working right now. So this is obviously not all set up yet because the kids aren't here yet, and the specialists are currently unpacking their bunks. But once they've unpacked their bunks, they will come in here and get the facility areas ready for the kids. And gymnastics is another really popular one. There's also a lot of kids that come to camp that do gymnastics throughout the winter, so they have to keep up with their training when they're here. So it's a pretty good facility. They actually run some intercamps here where other camps will come and compete at this facility because it is one of the better ones in the area. And there's pretty much everything that you could need here, and it's huge. And it is normally nice and cool in here, but obviously because nobody's been using it, they've not had the air on, so it's pretty hot. And that's it, or at least like maybe a third of it. It's funny, as I'm walking around, well, as I set out to do that tour, I was like, on a golf cart, I can definitely do that tour and show you like every single activity in 15, 20 minutes. No way. I have missed out so much. But basically, if there's something that you enjoy to do as a hobby, or you have a skill in, or even you work in, pretty much guarantee that there's a job in it here. So yeah, if it's something that you're interested in, then go ahead to workplayusa.com or drop me a message on here, comment on here, send me a message on any other platform. Happy to help. Another question that Josh gets asked a lot on his interviews is, what am I going to be near? Because obviously people are coming out here to travel. Truth is, not much. Camps are remote. However, that is a part of the way that you get to see the real America. So for me, my first year, our days off, because you do get time off, believe it or not, you do get time off. Our days off were all spent by a lake. There's some like cool waterfalls, cool hikes. This camp is about 2 hours from New York City, and it is fairly typical that camps are maybe 2 hours from like a major city or airport that you would be able to visit on some days off. A lot of camps will lay on transport for their staff on days off so that you can get out and get some freedom or get some amenities or toiletries if you need them, if you run out. But they are also all fairly remote based on their lakes, as you can see, like the amount of ground that they need. But for me, that's part of the fun of it. You are in your own little world, in your own little bubble, and you see the real America when you do go out. There's a few places to eat, there's a few places to grab a drink nearby that you could go on an evening off and get some time away from the kids, which is important. There's also like breakout areas for staff here and at all the camps, so that you can spend some time on your phone speaking to home. You can access the computers if you need to be booking travel and trips and stuff like that. And yeah, there's all of the kind of comfort and luxuries that you need to be in this bubble, in this little world for the 7 weeks that camp is running, plus usually a week before for training, and then finish up and go and explore the rest of America and tick off those bucket list cities that you really want to see, do that road trip, meet those people, and yeah, just have the best summer of your life and then want to come back next year. Warning, you might get addicted. Even if you don't, like, just to tick it off your bucket list is amazing. But one thing that this camp is near actually is the site of Woodstock, the 1969 festival, like hippies and ooh la la. So next week's episode I'm going to be visiting that, because I haven't actually, there's a museum, there's a concert venue that I've been to several times. Last year I went to see Shania Twain there and it was amazing. But there's a museum there and there's lots of historic information that I have not yet explored. I've usually been at a lake or a brewery on my days off, not at a museum. But I'm getting to the age now where museums are interesting. So I'm going to go there next week, find out a bit more about that, show you around that venue, which is one of the coolest concert venues I've ever been to in my life. So make sure you stay tuned. Again, if you're new here, welcome. If you're back, thank you. Anybody who's got to this point of the video, I really appreciate it. It helps building my watch hours closer to monetizing and putting all of that money into starting this business, starting this charity. Workplay USA is a really successful and we're really happy with it, and I'm really proud of my husband for where he's grown it to. That's his passion project. My passion project is the charity, so that's what all of this is for, and I appreciate you guys supporting me on that journey and following me on that journey, because there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Until next week, I'm off to go cool down. Have a nice cold drink. Bye.